Are you ready for a review?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you.
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh! Who isn't a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants!
Absorbent and yellow and porous is he.
SpongeBob SquarePants!
If none of the nonsense be something you wish,
SpongeBob SquarePants!
then drop on the deck and float like a fish.
SpongeBob
Ready?
SquarePants!
SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yep, that's right. I am doing a review on SpongeBob SquarePants in honor of the anniversary. And guess what number it is? Hint, it's something funnier than 24.
Let me hear it.
25.
That joke will never get old. Anyways, the show takes place in the Pacific Ocean in a town known as Bikini Bottom, home of a yellow sea sponge who is named SpongeBob SquarePants, who's an expert jellyfisher and a fry cook at the restaurant known as the Krusty Krab. He also has a neighbor that is an artist and a musician, but mostly grouchy, who is known as Squidward, and his best friend who's a starfish named Patrick Star. And he also has a pet snail who is named Gary, and his friend is a squirrel from Texas who is named Sandy Cheeks. And then we have his boss, who is known as Mr. Krabs or Eugene H. Krabs, who loves nothing more than money. And we have his arch competitor and sworn enemy, Sheldon J. Plankton, who runs a restaurant known as the Chum Bucket that nobody goes to. And he has his computer wife, who is known as Karen. Now, the history of SpongeBob: Stephen Hillenburg, the creator of the show, was originally going to call this SpongeBoy Ahoy, but due to a copyright because of the mob, he changes the name that will forever be known by all: SpongeBob SquarePants. He is a cartoon and a marine biologist. Before he made SpongeBob, he worked with Joe Murray, who is the creator of Rocko's Modern Life. Now let's go with each season of the show, starting with seasons 1 through 3, aka the Golden Era. The first 3 seasons of the show were peak, and they're iconic. The scenes, the quotes, the memes, the list can go on. One of my favorite episodes in this era is Chocolate with Nuts, Pizza Delivery, and Band Geeks. Especially Band Geeks. That episode was peak. Sweet Victory was my favorite song, and my favorite scene in this episode is when Patrick asked if mayonnaise was an instrument. And I like the part where Patrick just walked in as a tuba after Sandy just beats the out of him. And I like Frankendoodle, because that's where they introduced Doodle Bob, and that part where Patrick screams out, "Finland!" I give this era 10 out of 10 and 5 stars. Now for season 4 and 5, they were pretty good, but there is an episode that I think is which is Good Neighbors. And what I don't like about this episode is where they started the whole Squidward torture in later seasons. I get it, Squidward is a rude neighbor towards SpongeBob and Patrick, but does he really deserve any of this? No, he doesn't. Fun fact, Stephen Hillenburg originally wanted to end SpongeBob after the movie first released, but Nickelodeon wants to keep the show going for, of course,
Money!
yeah, what Mr. Krabs says. Overall, season 4 through 5 weren't bad, but I would give it a 9 out of 10. Oh boy, season 6 through 9A. The worst era of the show. Why is this the worst era of the show? Squidward torture, SpongeBob torture, and Gary torture, and Plankton torture. And Patrick became more of a bully than a best friend. Like, how could you downgrade a character like that and have one of the worst episodes ever made? A pal for Gary, one-course meal, the Splinter, Pat Sitter Pat, Stuck in a Rainer, And don't even get me started on SpongeBob You're Fired. Reasons why I hate those episodes? Gross close-ups, characters getting tortured, Mr. Krabs fired his best employee just because of a f***ing nickel, and Patrick was no help getting SpongeBob out of the f***ing ringer.
I guess crying does solve your problems after all.
However, I do like the episode where they show how Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy became superheroes. That pretty much gave them lore. And the only part I like in SpongeBob You're Fired is how SpongeBob made snail food for Gary. Other than that, SpongeBob You're Fired is still
the worst episode ever.
And I kinda like how they brought back Bubble Buddy, and unpopular opinion, I kinda like how they brought back Bubble Bass. Other than that, Season 6 through 9A gets a 2 out of 10. Now, after Sponge Out of Water, Stephen Hillenburg did return to the show during Season 9B to 12. That is, until November 27, 2018. He passed away due to ALS. Rest in peace, Stephen Hillenburg. The show isn't the same without you. We all miss you. Now, when it comes to these seasons, while introducing new characters, they brought back some old favorites, like Fred becoming a My Lake guy again, Bubblebass becoming the comic book guy from The Simpsons, Doodle Bob returning in a few episodes, and same thing goes to Kevin the Sea Cucumber. One of my favorite episodes in one of those seasons is SpongeBob's Birthday Bash, which is a great way to celebrate the 20th anniversary, which shows all the characters from each episodes and movies. And it was a great way to celebrate. Overall, the series itself, SpongeBob SquarePants gets a 10 out of 10 and 5 stars. Happy 25th anniversary to SpongeBob SquarePants, and rest in peace, Stephen Hillenburg. Thank you for all the memories that we have.